How you guys doing? This is Coach Steve Calarco alongside Coach Chris Rice from Velocity Sports Performance in Norwood. And today we're going to talk about the plank. And we're going to talk about a cue that we give here called closing the gap. Now, most people, or I tend to observe some people being in a plank position, but then just holding the position, but not really holding the position with integrity. And what we really preach here is being mindful of being mindful of the positions that you're in. All right, so one thing we're going to talk about is closing the gap. And what we really mean by this is drawing the elbows or closing the gap between the elbows and the feet. And what this does is produce ruthless amounts of tension in your core, which you need when you're either pulling big wheels off the ground or you're going to squat big wheels from the rack. Okay? So, Chris, can you show me a bad position of the plank? And this is what we see normally, okay? So we'll start in a good position, right? And then all of a sudden, as the plank tends to go on in time, you'll start to see this excessive extension in the lower back. And then all of a sudden, you ask somebody, how did you feel? You relax. You ask them how they feel, and they say, oh, I didn't feel that. I started to feel in my core initially, and then I started to get worse in my lower back, okay? So, Chris, I want you to hold your hands up like this. Okay, so when I talk to people about closing the gap, I'm going to hold my hands here and I'm going to say, Chris, push against my hands. Just like this, push harder, harder, harder. Draw your elbows towards your knees. Very good. So now, Chris starts to understand what I really want. Now, when he's in a plank position, I just don't want to be screaming cues and information at Chris because then it's going to confuse him. All right, so one cue that we'll use here is the band. Okay, so Chris is going to set up in a plank and set up with the band around his elbows. So you see how he gets into the band first. Okay, his elbows should be underneath his shoulders. Okay, his head should be just a continuation of his spine. His quads are really tight. His ass is super tight. Okay, and then as the band is stretched from the bench, Chris has to close the gap without me screaming body parts and different cues at him to confuse him. Okay, relax. All right, so if you're having trouble with the plank or you find that the plank is starting to bother your lower back, I urge you to give this a shot and let us know what you think.